Recording in progress.
See here, yesterday we completed discussing the events categories: adverse event domain, medical history domain, and clinical events domain. Correct? So now we left with the disposition domain and protocol deviation domain. So now we'll start with the disposition domain. So what this does, disposition domain will capture. So in the disposition domain, it captures the status of the subject. Status means whether subject completed the study or not completed the study. Okay. So what this domain will capture? This domain captures the status of the subject. Okay. Which includes a subject is completed the study or not completed the study. Okay. So main is status. What is the current status of subject? Completed or not completed? If not completed, then which stage is there? Is it still at screening stage? I just signed informed consent. So all these things we're going to capture. For example, maybe subject was still at informed consent stage. Informed consent we obtained. No, subject just completed the screening. Some subjects maybe are failed in the screening. Screen failure. No, some subjects completed the screening. They went to randomization stage. No, some subjects randomization also done. They are taking the treatment now. In the treatment stage. Are some subjects, okay, while taking the treatment, they are suffering from adverse event. So are there in adverse events? No, while taking the treatment, some subjects may be discontinued. Or some subjects maybe death was happened. If not all this, he could have completed the study. Clear? The two things, either completed, if not completed any of these things. Okay, so subject was crossed, what are the stages, and currently was in which stage? All the details we're going to capture in a disposition domain. Okay, generally, if you see in the CRF form, the end of study form, then the last page in the study form, you'll find the status. In end of study form. Okay, is it completed a study or is suffering from adverse event or any withdrawals, any discontinued or death was happened? So you can see in the CRF page here. Okay, in a CRF, in the end of study form, we will collect these details. Okay, so this domain will capture all the below terms. This domain captures the following terms. Okay, so these are the terms, whether subject informed consent obtained or screening or screen failure or randomization, treatment, if it is treatment, adverse event, or it is continued, or death was happened, or study. Apart from this, there is another was there. Another thing also, if we have, we can capture, that is blind status change. Remember what is blinding? Anyone tell me what is blinding? What are the blindings we have? What are the types we have?
Three types of blindings we have: single, double, and triple blinding.
Blinding. That is parallel and crossover blinding.
Okay, what is blinding first of all?
Type of study.
Type of study. Okay. What is blinding?
Hiding the treatment.
Blinding is nothing but hiding the treatment.
Yeah, sometimes the investigators knows, and
Mhm.
sometimes the client patients know.
Okay. So based on the three groups, there are three groups.
Yeah, single, double, and
Patient,
triple blind.
patients, investigators, and principal investigators. So to whom you are disclosing the drug, to whom you are hiding the drug. If you are hiding for only patients, it's a single blinding. Sometimes it is double blinding, and it is a triple blinding. Correct? And apart from this, you have open label, unblinding also. Okay. Now what we are discussing here, blind status. For example, your study in the starting, they mentioned the protocol. It is a double blinded study. Later, it was changed to unblinding or open label. Okay. See, like this, if any status change was happened, that details also will capture in a disposition domain. Okay. Next. So I told you these are the terms we are going to capture, right? So these terms was divided into three categories. So in the disposition domain, you're going to have three categories. What are those things? One is protocol milestone category. Second is disposition event category. Third is other events categories. Okay, all your terms was divided into three categories. So in the protocol milestone category, what are the terms will come? This one, informed consent and randomization comes under protocol milestone category. Okay. Under the disposition event category, remaining all the things will come. Except informed consent and randomization. So screening, screen failure, treatment, adverse event, discontinuation, death, even study completed. All this comes under disposition event categories. This blind status change alone will come in a other event categories. Okay. So these three categories we have. Under each category, these are the terms will be there. Okay. Now let us see what is the topic variable here. What is the topic variable for the events categories?
Disappoint. Disposition.
A domain A term, C domain C term, MH term. So here DS term, correct? DS term is the topic variable. What are the identifier variables? What are the common variables we have?
Subject ID,
Subject ID.
Study ID, unique subject ID, domain name, and the sequence number. Okay, so these are the identifier variables. So let me give the list of variables and labels, and in detail we will discuss about them each variable. Okay, so first of all, these variables are common. Study ID is nothing but study name, study identifier, name of the study will capture. Domain, we are discussing about the domain abbreviation. So we are discussing about the disposition domain. So we have to capture DS. Unique subject ID, it's a combination of study ID, site ID, and subject ID. DS sequence number you have put in. Okay, next. This DS term. This term. A reported term for the disposition event. A reported term for the disposition event. So exactly what is the status? Exactly what is the status of the subject? The terms which are mentioned here, right? Any of these terms will come. Oh. So subject crossed, which are the stages? If subject was there, informed consent, screening, randomization, treatment, and completed. Means all the four terms will. Now subject have only informed consent, screening. Only two terms will come. Now some subjects may be seen informed consent, screening, randomization. So only three terms will come. So like this, by end of the day, these terms will come in a TS term variable. Okay. And for these terms, you have decode as well. DS decode. So here it's not a dictionary variable. It's a standardized disposition term. Okay, standardized disposition term means instead of capturing the general term name, okay, we will capture one standard name. That's it. For example, informed consent. So instead of writing simply informed consent, write informed consent obtained. It's a standard name. Instead of randomization, just write randomized. Okay. Instead of treatment completed, you can write it like completed. Study completed, or any death was happened. Okay, subject is suffering from any adverse event. Adverse event. Like this, some standard names will capture instead of writing the generalized term names, some standard terms will write it in a DS decode way. Okay. Next variable DS category. Disposition category. So how many categories you have? Just now I told you there are 3 categories here. You will get observations like either protocol milestone, disposition event, or other events. So any of these 3 terms categories you can see in a DS category variable. Protocol milestone, disposition event, other event. So let me explain with an example. For example, you have a data like this. The 101 subject, okay, he signed the informed consent. 101 subject signed the informed consent. Let us assume on 2017 0 to 12. Say 101 subject, he completed the screening. The screening was done. Let us assume screening started. On 15th, the screening started. Next, randomization done. Okay, let us assume 10 days screening done. So on 25th, randomization done. Next, treatment started. Treatment also completed. Let us assume after 3 months, treatment also completed. So this is going to be your unique subject ID, and this is your DS terms. And when this is started or ended, this is your STD. Particular term when it is started. Now tell me, based on the terms, what is the DS categories will come? So how will I write it? If your DS term is equal to informed consent, what is the term? What is the category? Comes under protocol milestone category. If your DS term is called screening, comes under disposition event category. If it is randomization, comes under protocol milestone category. If it is a treatment, comes under disposition event category. Okay, so based on the terms, the categories will be there. Based on the terms, the categories will be there. So all informed consent and randomization terms comes under protocol milestone category. Remaining all the terms comes under disposition event category. Okay, clear? So programmatically also we'll write the same way. If your DS term informed consent or randomization, the category will be protocol milestone. Else other than it will be protocol disposition event category. Okay, clear? Okay. So the next variable DS STDTC. Disposition, start date and time in character. So when the particular disposition event, for example, DS term was started, when the informed consent started, when the screening started, when the randomization started, when the treatment started. Okay, and you have one more date also, DSDTC also. Disposition, date of collection. Date of collection. So what is the difference between DSSTDCC and DSDTC? This is start date and this is the collection date. Think logically, almost both will be same date. So for example, today informed consent is signed. That is a signed date. Today only you got information, you collected. So mostly your DSSTDTC and DSDTC will come same date. Very rare scenarios, for example, death was your term. Let us assume term is death. In the death cases, maybe death was happened, yesterday death was happened. Today to the hospital you got information. Maybe subject was died at his home, yesterday evening. Today morning you got a news to the hospital. So you went and collected the details. So there your DSSTDTC, your death date will be yesterday's date, and DSDTC, your collection date will be today's date. So there you will find a difference in the dates. Clear? Let me give some data. Okay. Okay. Let's see one more example. See here. Your DSDTC dates. Okay. So informed consent happened on February 12. Same day you collected the details as well. Similarly, screening was happened. Same day you collected the details. Randomization also happened at hospital. Same day you collected the details. Treatment was started. Okay. After treatment was started, maybe for this subject, one more term is there. Death was happened to the subject. Maybe let us assume on 15th death was happened. On 16th, you went and collected the details. So the event happened date was on 15th. This is going to be a start date. When you collected the details, that's going to be a 16th. Clear? Both are different. So death also comes under disposition event. So that's the difference between start date and collection date. Okay, and make sure, as I told you, always date should be there in a character data type and should be there in a standard format. Okay. Next. ds st dy. ds st dy. So disposition study started. So study started same standard formula. Study day. You're going to derive based on ds st dtc and RFST. Okay. So same formula. ds st dy is equal to ds st dtc minus RFST dtc plus 1 when ds st dtc greater than or equal to RFST dtc. What is less than, just do the minus. ds st dy is equal to ds st dtc minus RFST dtc when ds st dtc less than RFST dtc. Okay. Okay. So the last variable is epoch. Actually, only few variables you have here. What is epoch? What is epoch? What is epoch?
Screening, treatment, follow-up together called epoch.
Screening.
Treatment, follow-up.
Okay, what happened to randomization? A group of elements we called as an epoch, correct? A group of elements we called as an epoch. So generally your epoch values will come like screening epoch, randomization epoch, treatment epoch, and follow-up epoch. These are all you'll get observations, correct? But remember a special note here, only for disposition domain alone. Okay, we won't derive the epoch. We won't derive the epoch for the values, for the terms, for the informed consent, and for randomization. Only in the disposition domain alone for these two terms, means especially this protocol milestone category terms, we won't derive the epoch values. For remaining all the scenarios, you will derive the epoch values. It means for informed consent, for randomization, you won't derive the epoch. For screening or screen failure, it comes under screening epoch, which meant adverse event, discontinued, death. Okay. These all are comes under treatment epoch. Subject completed the study. Comes under follow-up epoch. But how you will derive? Okay, epochs, how to derive epochs? So let us assume for this scenario only. This is a data set you have. Okay, I need to derive the epochs here. How can I derive epoch? So not only here, in every domain, the epoch derivation is standard derivation. Okay, your epoch you are going to derive from the SCU domain. Subject elements domains we discussed, right? subject element domain. Here we already derived the epoch variables from your trial element domain. Let us assume this is your trial element domain. Sorry, subject element domain. Okay. Same for 101 subject. So this is your disposition domain. This is your subject elements domain. If we take the dates, then dates are not relevant. Let me take a different dates. This is your disposition domain. Sorry, this is your subject elements domain. Unique subject ID, element, start dates and end dates and epochs values you have here. Now, this is your disposition domain. 101 subject, inform consent sign, screening, randomization, treatment, data. So here, epochs I need to direct. Okay. So what is simple step? Okay. So in your disposition, your intermediate disposition domain and your SC domain, you have to merge. While you are merging, okay, while you are merging, make sure, okay, this your disposition date, your DS STDTC date, it is falling between SC STDTC and SCN DTC. Between these two dates. It has to fall between these two dates. So which condition is satisfying? For example, make sure your SC STDTC less than or equal to DS STDTC and less than SCN DTC. If it is falls between these two dates, okay, then you can assign this epoch to, okay, you can assign a, for example, create a new variable color epoch, you can assign a epoch. Okay, so what you have to do, you just merge both data, some final data set I'm creating. I am merging my subject disposition domain and subject element domain. Okay, by unique subject. By taking the unique subject ID as a common variable, I'm merging. So while merging, I'm checking the condition. So first, for example, DSST I'm reading the DSST. Check this date. It's falling under which dates? It is falling here in the screening, it is falling, but the disposition domain for informed consent, you won't derive the epoch values. So you won't get epoch values for that. If the term is informed consent. So leave it. Next, screening. Check this date. This date is falling under which categories? First, second, third, or fourth. It is falling here. See, your February 13 is falling between, see, these two dates. 2016 0 to 12 to 2016 0 to 20. It is satisfying this condition. Then what happened? These epoch values will come to here. Next, again for randomization also, you won't derive the values, so you won't get a values. In general, you will get a values actually. If you apply this scenario, you will get a randomization, you will get a screening, and you will get a randomization as well. Okay. Programmatically, when you do it, you will get it both. But later step, you remove the wherever DS term is equal to informed consent and randomization, you remove the epoch values there. Because in a disposition domain, you are not required. But in all other domains, tomorrow, if you do it for any other domains as well, epoch derivation will get a values here for randomizations also. Okay. Now see the treatment. Check this treatment. This DSSTDTC is falling between which the that is falling between these dates. It is satisfying the condition. It is not satisfying the first one, second one, third one. It is satisfying. 260515. So this DSSTDT is falling between these STDTs, SC entities. So these epoch values will come to your output address. Okay, next death. Okay, death was falling in these two rates. It comes on that follow. So in the follow stage, that was happening. Clear? Understand? Everyone? So this is how you have to derive the epoch values. Now tomorrow, if you're going to do it for another domain, same way, this date will change. Okay. For example, in a laboratory domain, you want to derive the epoch values. What you will do? There will LBDTC, how it will have when the measurements was done, there you will collect the date. That date you will take it here. Make sure check SC that LBDTC is falling between SC, STDTs, SC, and ETC. Take those epoch values. Okay. Clear, everyone? So this is a constant derivation in every domain. So always any epoch, okay, you straightforward entry question, how you will derive the epoch? Okay, epoch will be derived from the subject elements domain. How you will derive? What is the logic? Means you have to tell. Okay, whichever domain you will take it, it's in the domain, a particular start date will be there. The date has to fall between your subject elements start date and end date. So whichever the condition was satisfied, okay, that the subject element domain epoch values will come to my output data set, either the disposition domain or LB domain or SSS domain. Okay, any other domain. Okay, clear, everyone? Any questions? That's it. These are the variables you have in a disposition domain. Only few variables. Study ID, domain, unique subject ID, sequence number, term, decode, the categories, DSSTDTC, DSDTC, DSSTDY, epoch. Only these observations you have in a disposition domain. Okay, clear? Let me show you one example also. Okay, see what are the variables you have. study ID, domain, unique subject ID. Okay. Yeah. Is it fine now? See, study ID, domain, unique subject ID, sequence number, term, decode, categories, epochs, DS, STDDC, and DSDDC. Okay. So let us take 101 subject. Okay. See, all observations are coming. First 101 subject. Informed consent is obtained. Okay. Decode is informed consent obtained. Categories. Informed consent comes under protocol milestone category. So you won't derive the epoch values for the informed consent. So on 21st, informed consent is obtained. Next, after informed consent, next stage is screening. Screening completed. Decode value is also completed. So screening means comes under disposition event category. Your epoch will be screened. Next, after screening, randomization, randomized. Decode also randomized. Randomization comes under protocol milestone category. So we won't derive the epoch values for the protocol milestones. See, that's called informed consent, and for randomization, you won't derive the epoch values. So we'll get a missing values. Then the randomization value. Next, when the treatment is completed, the subject is completed, treatment also. Completed. Disposition event category, treatment category. Next, follow means he completed the study as see completed. Follow completed means study completed. So take one more subject, 102. So the subject have only two things. One is informed consent is obtained, protocol milestone. Second is subject denied the MR procedure. Maybe subject was failed in the screen. See, screen, he failed in the screen. So take this subject, 103 subject. Informed consent obtained, screening completed, randomization done. But in the treatment stage, see, subject was moved. Moved is nothing but subject was discontinued. So when the discontinuation was happening. 104 subject. Informed consent obtained. Screening completed, randomization completed, even treatment also completed. See, in the follow-up stage, automobile accident, death was happened. In the follow-up stage. I told you, right? So DS, STDTC, DSDTC, mostly will be same date. Observe here. Informed consent date, randomization date, treatment completed. Both will be there. Your DS, STDTC and your collection date will be same. Only for death scenario, if you observe, his death was happened on 29th, but they collected the details on 31st. So like these scenarios we will see the difference in the dates. Or else both the dates will be same. Okay. Now 105 subject, if you observe, see. Subject informed consent obtained, screening completed, randomization completed. Next, in the treatment stage, you have adverse event. Then after that, you completed the step. Clear? So this is how we'll get observations in a disposition of. Okay. Any questions, anyone? In the disposition domain? Anyone? Any questions? Clear? Manasa, Srinath, Ram, Swami, Dharma. Now have anything? No questions? Shall we move to the next domain? One small domain. Protocol deviation domain. That's called DV. DV is nothing but protocol deviation. So what this domain will capture, subject is deviated anything from the protocol. Deviations or if took any violations during the course, during the clinical trial, is subject to any deviations. For example, let's say in, for example, in the third visit, subject has to take a 20 mg tablet, but it took only 15 mg tablet. The treatment deviation is supposed to take a 20 mg, but it took only 10 mg. The deviation. Sometimes in your protocol, they given some list of prohibited medicines they given. 10 medicines they given. One of the subject took one medicine in that list. So they already clearly mentioned in the protocol, these are prohibited medicines. But one subject took the one of the medicine in those prohibited medicines. Is a deviation. So which subject took the deviation and what deviation it taken? The details will capture in a protocol deviation domain. Sometimes, okay, in the protocol it will be mentioned like a list of prohibited concomitant medications. Means when you after taking the clinical trials, okay, after taking the drug, if you got a fever, generally for a fever you'll take some Dolo or paracetamol. So they told you, right? They mentioned in the protocol, you're not supposed to take any of these two. Those are prohibited, those are exempted, those are excluded. Those are excluded concomitant medications. Any subject not supposed to take it, any of those concomitant medications. But badly one subject took. One subject took the one of the excluded concomitant medication. So that subject details will come to protocol deviation domain. Okay, clear?
Wait.
What is domain will capture? This domain is captures protocol violations and deviations during the course of study. Okay, so what is the structure of the domain? One record per protocol deviation per subject. Means for each deviation we'll be having one observation. If it is also one subject of the two deviations means we'll get a two observations in your output data set. Okay, so what is the topic variable here? DV term your topic. What are the identifier variables? What are the common variables? Same. Study ID. Study ID, domain, unique subject ID, and sequence number. Okay. So let me give the list of variables and labels we have in a protocol deviation domain. Only few variables you have. Let me give the variables once again. So these are common variables, right? Study ID, name, protocol name, name of the study, domain, domain abbreviation. So we are discussing about DV. So we have to capture DV. ES UBJD, it's a combination of study ID, site ID, and subject ID. DV sequence number you have to derive with the standard derivation formula. Okay. Next, DV term, protocol deviation term. So exactly that term we'll capture here. Decode protocol deviation coded term, standardized term we'll capture. Let's say an example. 101 subject, let us assume it took the, in a visit to, it took the 10 mg tablet. We're supposed to take a 20 mg, but it took only 10 mg. So this is going to be a TV term. Decode will be treatment deviation. So when he took this 10 mg tablet, the date we have to capture, that is DVSTDs. Let's say one more subject. That 102 subject, or some 105 subject. All the subject may not take the deviations. Okay, it's very rare. Hardly 100 subjects. If you have 1 or 2 subjects or 3 to 4 subjects, some people will take deviations. In real time also it will be same. You won't get more observations in a DV domain. Okay, 105 subject, he took the drug X. So this drug X is the prohibited medicine. When he took this drug X, the date we have to capture. This is a 108 subject. He took some drug Z during the clinical trial. Is it an excluded concomitant medication? So when he took this drug Z, the date. Clear? So what is the deviation he taken? When he taken? Which subjects are taken? Those details only will capture in this protocol deviation domain. Clear? Next, DV code, protocol deviation coded terms. So these are the standard terms: treatment deviation, prohibited medicines, excluded concomitant medications. This type of terms will come. So coded terms will come. Okay. If these deviations, okay, if they have any category information, protocol deviation category and subcategory will capture. In CRF form, if deviation details, they are categorized anything. For each couple of, okay, 2 to 3 DV terms together, they categorize under one category. That category name will come. The DV cat variable. Some extra information will be there. It comes under subcategory. Okay. DV-STDTC protocol deviation start date and time. So when the deviation has happened, the date we have to capture. So always, what is the rule for the dates? It should be there in character data type and should be there in a standard format. Okay. DV and DTC are the same. Protocol deviation start date, protocol deviation end date. Okay. For example, he's taking this 10 mg tablet, 2 days he take it. 2017 0 to 10 and 2017 0 to 12. 2 days he took the 10 mg tablet. So that is one going to be start date, another going to be end date. Start dates and end date. So each term, when it is started, when it is ended. Start dates and end dates. Lastly, epoch. Epoch we have to derive group of elements we call as an epoch. Again, how to derive the epoch? Same, just now I shown you, right? Same logic. Instead of DSSTDTC, if you keep your DVSTDTC, you have to merge programmatically. I was telling, okay? If you have to merge your DV domain and SC domain, wherever your DV-DTC is falling between SC, STDTC, SC, and DTC, those epochs will come. Logically, most everything, deviations will happen in a clinical trial, correct? Once the clinical trials was started, once the treatment was started, the deviations happened. So here everything a treatment epochs. Visit to, try taking the drug Z, taking the drug Y. All when the clinical trials are started, so mostly you'll get a treatment epoch only until your dates are wrong. Maybe dates was captured wrongly. So that time you may get a different in the epochs when you merge. When you merge your DV domain and your SC domain, if your dates was populated wrongly, then obviously the date may not fall between the treatment epochs, SC, ST, SC, and DT. It may fall in the screening or randomization. Those epochs will come in your output answer. Okay, so the epoch derivation will be same. Same standard derivation you need to follow. Instead of DS, it will be D. Okay. That's it. Only these are the variables we have in a protocol deviation. Clear? A small example also. See here. Study ID, domain, unit subject ID, sequence number, term, decode, epoch, and STDs. So 101 subject deviation happens. IVRS process deviation, no dose call performed. Maybe in this study, from the hospital, they'll call to the subject saying that, okay, today you have to take a tablet. They forgot to call, subject did not take the tablet. The treatment deviation. Okay, subject took the drug X is an excluded concomitant medication. Subject took the aspirin tablet, it's a prohibited medicine. So subject took some less than 15 mg tablet only, the treatment deviation. Maybe it's supposed to take 20 mg, but it took only 15 mg. The term the standard code. And when the term was happened, the dates. Okay. That's it. So this is how we'll get observations in DV domain, protocol deviation domain. Okay, clear? Fine then. Any questions in the today's topic? Anyone have anything? If nothing is there, so that's it for today. So we'll continue your project.
Recording stopped.
Okay. Submit me tomorrow. We'll review the project. Okay. So all this disposition domain, MH domain. Some people are not submitted AE also. So those who are completed AE, you move to the another domains. Fine. Okay. If no questions, that's it for today.
Thanks.
Thank you. You continue tomorrow. Thank you.